Welcome back to another lesson. This one is all about building your virtual training roadmap. So this is the virtual training roadmap. I know it looks like a little rainbow, but I like to use it to structure my training from A to Z. So first, we start with this guy here. This is A, and A is the beginning. This is where your students are now, their current status. So we might ask questions like, how are the students feeling before they walk into our virtual training? What are they experiencing? What are their pain points or problems or issues surrounding the training topic? And then the next thing we're going to look at is going to be Z. This is the final destination. Z asks the question, where will they be? So for instance, you might want to talk about where your learners will be once they are finished with your training. And I'm not talking about anything like outcomes or technical stuff here. I'm really talking about a transformation. How will those feelings, perceptions, experiences, and pain points that our learners had in A be transformed? How can we transform those and turn them into something else in Z? Then the next thing we're going to do is, I know you're looking at this probably going, okay, well, we have A to Z. I figured out what their current status is. I figured out where they will be, but how do I get them from A to Z? The answer, my friend, is going to be through milestones. So what we're going to do next is we're going to map out 4 to 6 big milestones that our learners will need to achieve in order to get them from A to Z. So listen up. If you have a really in-depth topic, you'll probably choose up to 6 milestones. But I think for the purposes of this, let's just work with 4 for now. So in milestone number 1, we have the foundation. And what we think about here is, where should the students begin? What are the foundational things that they need to know? Like, are there any key terms or definitions? Do we need to do any mindset work? Do we need to debunk any myths or misconceptions? What do we have to do in this milestone? The basic point here is that you, in milestone 1, will prepare your learners for the journey. So this is the preparation. In milestone 2, we do a bit more fun stuff. This is where your learners will think big. They're going to brainstorm. They're going to see the big picture. They're going to just have their head in the clouds and think of the big concepts. In the next milestone, we are going to tackle the planning and the technical bits. So right in here is where your learners will be practicing skills or behaviors. And this is usually the heaviest part of the training. So you want to make sure that it is the most engaging. It includes hands-on activities as much as possible. And then your final and 4th milestone is going to be the momentum milestone. This is where you're going to build momentum for your learners. It's where you're going to empower them to go out and get moving. It's like your final encouraging push to get them to take action. All right, so let's take a look at an example of how we might build a roadmap for virtual training that's all about, let's say, resume writing. Okay, so when our learners step foot into our virtual training space, they may be feeling confused, right, by why their resume hasn't been successful in landing them that dream job. Maybe they've gone on the internet and they have looked up resources on how they can improve their resume, how they can structure it, and it's just so much out there. Maybe they're now feeling overwhelmed. And then finally, there's another feeling that they may feel. They may really feel uncertain about how they can market themselves to get the job or the position or the career that they desire. So the current status again is about where they are now, as in where they are when they step into your virtual training. But when they leave your virtual training, where will they be? Well, the first place we want them to be is prepared, right? We want them to feel ready to go through the job search process because they're equipped with the necessary skills. We want them to have clarity on how to present themselves to potential employers in order to make a great impression. And we want them to feel confident that they will have several job prospects moving forward. So we go from A to Z by looking at 4 milestones. Our learners are going to have to go through 4 milestones to get them from A to Z. And so from those milestones, that is where we're going to pull out our objectives and outcomes for the virtual training. So let's look at milestone 1. Milestone 1 says the purpose of resumes, resume screening software. These are just kind of foundations, right? So our objective from milestone 1 might be understand the purpose of resumes, or understand applicant tracking software or resume screening software. Okay. Milestone 2, remember that one is the big concepts. So here they're going to learn how to talk about themselves in the most grandiose but real way, right? How they're going to highlight their accomplishments and their transferable skills, understanding and knowing the industry. You can make your learning outcomes from these two as well, right? So it might be something to do with writing a summary section or objective statement that is aligned to a specific job position, or be able to highlight their accomplishments and transferable skills in order to meet the job position requirements. In milestone number 3, these are the technical skills, right? So we're going to show them writing a resume, formatting, and organization. So some outcomes or objectives that we can pull out from milestone 3 might be utilize web resources to find powerful language for the resume, or produce a strong resume in a format, see, we're going back to this format, in a format that is suitable both to your background and the position of interest. And then that final milestone is going to be the momentum, that final push, that empowerment to get out and take action. So writing a winning cover letter, standing out. So what are the objectives we can pull from this milestone? Well, one might be produce a strong cover letter to help you achieve your career goals. Produce effective follow-up letters to help you stand out from the competition. So there you have it. That is one example of how we can go from A to Z using these milestones. And don't forget, the milestones are where you're going to pull your learning objectives from. So you're not pulling your learning objectives from Z, but you're pulling them from these 4 milestones. Okay, so what I want you to do now is, you know it's coming. What's next? An activity. Of course, right? We're going to end everyone with an activity because I want to give you this virtual training roadmap, and I want you to customize it for your particular virtual training topic. So where are you going to start? That's right, you're going to start here at A. That's number 1. So think about where your students are now. And then you're going to go to number 2, which is Z, that final destination. Where will they be when they're done? What is that transformation that they're going to have? And then I want you to start building in those milestones. Okay, so you have milestone 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this takes you to about 6 steps. So in 6 steps, you are going to build your virtual training roadmap. So I've listed here some bullets. Go ahead and fill those in. If you feel like you need to add more over here, no problem. If you feel like you need to add more than 2 things in milestone 3, go ahead and add it. But whatever you do, fill out this virtual training roadmap, hold on to it, and then hop over to the next lesson. See you there.